Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek. I'm here with Sandy Peterson and Lincoln Peterson, designers of Evil High Priest from Peterson Games. I know this arrived a few days after Gen Con started. A little transportation.
It arrived the second day of Gen Con.
Oh man.
It arrived 7 a.m.
So we opened one, you brought one over to go in the hot games room, and it smelled so fresh.
Yes.
You opened the box.
Air freighter from China.
That's right. Special product. So what are we doing? Are we the priests themselves?
We are priests of a great old one. In this case, we got the Cthulhu board out, so we're priests of Cthulhu.
Okay.
And we are all trying to wake up Cthulhu, but this is emphatically not a cooperative game.
Okay.
Because once Cthulhu wakes up, only one of us can be the high priest.
Okay.
So we are not buddies in any way, but we are all working together in a sense to
prove our merit.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is every player has these two boards. They have the priest board and they have your sanctum.
All right. Let's move this up a little so we can focus on
Sure.
the overhead camera. Okay.
So at the start of the game, you start with 4 of your cultists in Insane Asylum because you have to be insane to join a cult, right? And you have your priest and 2 cultists with you that you can do, and it's a worker placement game. So you take a guy and you put him on a board and you get resources, and sometimes you have to pay a resource and you get other different resources, right? The priest board has special actions that only the priest can go to. So if you put him over here, you then can't do any of these actions that turn because you don't have your guy, right?
So for example, the priest is the only guy that can rescue a guy from the asylum.
Okay.
So you'd go here, pay that amount, and then he would go to the escape. And then at the end of the round, he'd return. He'd now be able to move from the escape to your pool.
Okay.
So that's the basics really of how to play a worker placement game, right?
Yeah.
The big difference between this and other worker placement games is that when you get your resources, they go into your sanctum, and you can build out your sanctum. Right now, they're in a bank vault in town, which is like really bad to store your evil arcane spell books in a bank vault, right?
Because the forces of authority can just walk in there and take them.
Okay.
So you can dig out and build your sanctum with different chambers. And here's a few examples.
Okay.
So
And you have to do things to get the chambers.
Yeah, so right here, there's an action where you can get the chambers. So so to give an example, here's 3 examples. So this one, so when the forces of good attack you, what they do is they start at your exposed resources and destroy all your exposed resources. Okay. Now you can defend before they do that, but we're just going to example. So when they go through here, it would take 3 damage down. So if it had 6 attack, it'd go down 3, right?
You have a marker, which I don't see out right now, but it would be here. The only time you roll dice is when you're determining the strength of the investigator attack. So say it was 8. You'd be here, and then once they hit this, it would go down 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it would destroy everything in the room, then go there, and it would go down 2.
Yeah.
Go one more.
Yeah. Okay. Now this room is the abdicatory special ability is that it has 0 defense, but anything in there is safe.
Yeah.
So we can only hold one thing.
Okay.
So to go an example attack, first what happens is you roll the dice depending on how strong the attack is. So let's say it was 2d6, okay? So there, we rolled a 6. So first, all of the cultists in the Insane Asylum subtract 1. Because you're less of a threat because you have guys locked up in the Insane Asylum.
Because they know where your guys are, they're not worried about you.
Okay.
So it also is a balancing element in that if you have more guys in the asylum where you can't use them, then you have more defense against an attack.
Right. Okay.
So then what happens is they destroy all your exposed resources, okay? So if I had a bunch of stuff there, that would all die. But there's things I can do to counter. I can sacrifice a guy.
So they catch him and put him back in the asylum.
And he's counts for 2. So I could do that and then save everything I source resources. But I might not want to do that. And I might just don't care about these resources. So they'll get destroyed. And they don't count for defense when they're destroying. They just destroy them all. Then they go on, they hit the wall, they count the defense, and it lowers it down.
That defense is 3,
and
so
that
then you'd be safe. You'd only lose the exposed ones.
Okay.
But let's say it was a super strong attack. You can also have monsters in your lair that you can sacrifice, and they're worth a defense amount. In this case, they're worth 5.
Okay.
So you can do that to help save your exposed resources.
There's periodic attacks, but there's also you're trying to get your and of course, like a worker placement game. If I got to go to the Athenaeum and you can't, and then you're sad and you sit there and you're whining about it, like you do, right? And one of the unique features of the game is that your resources, such as the Elder Signs and other things, are actually also at the end of the game turned into victory points.
Okay.
So you're literally spending victory points to earn victory points. So you're trying to maximize the
path to upgrade.
Yeah, and then you're looking at the thing, and all the investigator attacks are triggered by a player doing something on this board.
So let's talk about the cult board. This is the cult board. There's 2 in the core game. So there's the Cthulhu map and the Black Goat. So you can actually switch this part out. These all stay the same, but this gets switched out. Okay. So what happens is that the left-hand side, you pay a cost. So in this case, 2 magic, and you get an Elder Sign. Okay. Then sometimes there's a right-hand side that opens up a new location that you can now
put
place
your guy
a
on.
there and do.
So like that thing there costs 2 blood, and you get a cultist. So it's actually cheaper than the basic cultist thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you wouldn't want to go to this unless that was filled in by someone else because they're bad.
And also, you can just use a normal acolyte to do that. You don't have to send your priest,
Right.
which is another benefit, right?
Okay.
And that's unique to the Cthulhu board. Most boards don't have a way of getting cultists.
And then, so you take the Elder Sign, it's now a trophy that can be destroyed by investigator attacks, right?
Okay.
And now there's a little tech tree, you can see these little arrows going, of the next set of Elder Signs that you can destroy. So then next turn, you could go here and destroy that one, etc.
And see, that one doesn't have another thing attached to it, so it doesn't open up an area,
Right.
but it does trigger an investigator
Yeah,
attack.
the gun, each gun is how much a d6 of investigator attack does,
So
right?
3 guns is the most, you roll 3 dice.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's down at the bottom.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to trigger the attack such that they'll attack when your enemies are vulnerable and you're strong, or when you don't have any money, any resources, so you don't care if they go in there.
Okay.
So you're trying to time the investigator attacks. You're trying to, like other worker placements, steal their thunder.
Okay. And you use the resources mostly on this board?
Yeah, this
Or-
board.
Yeah, well,
and
also there's the ritual
here,
board.
because these open up locations that you can
And
do
then
stuff with.
and after the first investigator attack, the ritual board turns over.
Oh, wait.
And it has and all of this costs money, and also the ritual board is unique in that you set a guy there, and then he's there for 2 turns,
Okay.
and then you get
It's like a
rewards.
delayed reward. So the first turn you go there, he does nothing. He just sits there. Then the other turn he moves along, and then you get the reward. But then he's still stuck there until the end of the next turn.
Right.
So it's kind of a way to, if you have a lot of cultists and all these boards are taken up, you can put them here to kind of like, it's a way to
But
spend
if you
your
put too many cultists on the board, even though the rewards here are fabulous, then you're like out of cultists.
Yeah, so if you put all your cultists on here, they're like, okay, I have nothing to do on my
Plus
turn.
one at the bottom that's 4 turns?
Yes, so you spend 2.
Yeah.
The first turn you get nothing. The next turn you get 9 cash. Then you get another 9 cash.
So you get 18
and then
cash
he
for
comes
investing
back.
a 2, but you use up a cultist for 4
Right.
turns. So it's like,
And
is
this is-
18 cash worth it? And the answer is,
The answer is most likely because over here you can spend 10 cash to get 2 spell books,
Spell
which
books
help
are
you
really
destroy Elder Signs, which are really valuable as well as you can get monsters.
Elder Signs
for
are 10
them and
points
stuff.
each, so they're really, really big.
Okay.
And that's basically the gist of the core game.
All right.
Takes
And the
45
code boards are completely different.
45 minutes to play, just to an hour, up to 5 players. There's expansions that add 8 more cult boards.
Okay.
Unique monsters that have abilities rather than just being basic, as well as unique priests that are one-time abilities you can use, like
And
gain a monster once only.
And then unique investigators that change the investigator attack. So instead of just being, it's a 7, it's a 7 plus it's the psychiatrist who actually cures one of your cultists of his insanity, which takes him out of the game forever.
Okay.
So he's like really bad.
All right. Okay. I think that covers everything. So the game continues until Cthulhu.
It goes until all the Elder
Yes.
Signs are destroyed.
Cthulhu is always awakened.
Yeah.
Some things can't be stopped. You never fail.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for the overview. Evil High Priest. Thank you, Sandy and Lincoln.
Thank you.
There you go. Out now from Peterson Games.